Rockstar likes to recreate real big real-life places in all their video games. Today in this video, I'll be going over 10 areas we want to see GTA 6 take place. Welcome back to Grand Theft Maniac. Let's get into the video. Number 10, Hawaii. With Grand Theft Auto, it feels like we've kind of seen and done everything. With that in mind, thinking about possible settings for the new game involves considering places that would provide new experiences, and being confined to an island like Hawaii would give us something new. Granted, we love a large map and the ability to explore a vast area, which might not be for everyone. We get that. It's just somewhere that would allow for a different kind of game. Plus, cities like Honolulu are gorgeous and would look incredible in video game format. Number 9, Chicago. Considering the locations that Grand Theft Auto has covered already, Chicago seems like a no-brainer. It's one of the largest metropolitan cities in the world and usually ranks up there with Los Angeles and New York in that category. The Windy City feels like the next logical step for GTA. It isn't just how popular and famous Chicago is that makes it a good choice, there's also a pretty rich criminal history. Al Capone called the city home. GTA has explored the 80s and 90s, but what if they took things way back and went to the 1920s? Consider the lack of technology, unadvanced weapons, and things like cars and outfits to get a grasp of how unique this would be. Number 8, Boston. Cinematic crime in Boston has gone hand in hand over the past decade or so. Films like The Departed and The Town have made this a city where exciting things can happen. We think Grand Theft Auto would do a tremendous job with it, especially if it's a heist-heavy game like the last entry. There are plenty of notable landmarks that help make Boston an ideal place for GTA 6. Imagine doing a mission through the Boston Commons or Freedom Trail. Better yet, picture exploring the open world and running through a fictionalized Fenway Park. The possibilities are endless. Number 7, Washington, D.C. Speaking of places brimming with recognizable landmarks, it's Washington, D.C. This one feels like the kind of idea that Rockstar Games should have already tried. Think about the Purge film franchise and how that has looked at crime in America. GTA 6 could do something similar. Just picture committing a signature Grand Theft Auto crime spree through the nation's capital. Gamers could do things like graffiti the Lincoln Memorial or infiltrate the White House, and Rockstar will be able to include the kind of satirical humor the series is known for. Number 6, New Orleans. When thinking about areas for Grand Theft Auto 6 to explore, you want to think of the most memorable and recognizable locations. New Orleans fits right in. Bourbon Street, the French Quarter, the Superdome, and the list goes on in terms of notable areas. Other than the famous spots around the beautiful city, there are other reasons why this location will be a good selection. The games have yet to explore a southern state like Louisiana. It's also close enough to Florida that a return to Vice City wouldn't be out of the question. You might even be able to hop down to Mexico for a short while. Number 5, Brazil. Back in July, a lot of rumors and supposed leaks came out that revealed Brazil as a location for Grand Theft Auto 6. None of that has been confirmed, but if it's true, that would be fantastic. Since the game's become an open-world adventure with Grand Theft Auto 3, we haven't seen anything outside the United States. Rio de Janeiro is supposedly the prime location of GTA 6 alongside a returning Vice City. The Brazil section could deal with drug cartels as the main focus, which hasn't been explored enough in past entries. There's also the benefit of how gorgeous this could turn out. Various terrain types would make this map one of the most unique in history. Number 4, Texas. Circling back around to the south, we feel Texas would be a great place for Grand Theft Auto 6. Like the previously used California, it's a massive state. There are several key cities like Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio that are different enough to each act as a distinct section of the game. Texas kind of has everything that a GTA location needs. The only missing aspect is that it doesn't have the rich crime history of some others. And if the Texas location ventured into cowboy territory, we've seen that Rockstar can nail the aesthetic with the Red Dead Redemption franchise. Number 3, London. Longtime players of this series should remember a classic 1999 entry, Grand Theft Auto London 1969, came out for the original PlayStation and was the rare occasion when Rockstar used a real location and not a fictionalized version. However, this was back in the top-down days of GTA. Bringing some form of London to a current-gen system would almost certainly give us a gorgeous gaming experience. Any use of a weapon would be highly criminal in London, so that adds to a lot of tension to almost everything a player would do. Things like a double-decker bus would be fun to drive around, and there are tons of quirks that could be added to the world to make it stand out. Number 2, Tokyo. Sticking with the international theme, Tokyo sounds incredible. Like London, it's a highly recognizable and beautiful city. There are landmarks all around that could be replicated to give us something special. There's a built-in crime story with the Yakuza, though it might not be ideal to go too deep into that considering the Yakuza video game from a few years ago. Another thing to consider is how cinematic the country of Asia can be. Games like Sleeping Dogs and Shenmue have shown that in the past. Asia also has a rich past when it comes to legendary martial arts-based films. GTA has had a lackluster fighting engine for a long time, but incorporating something like that could revolutionize that area of gameplay. Number 1, Las Vegas. It's called Sin City for a reason. Las Vegas is a prime location for Grand Theft Auto game. It's vibrant, full of life, and bright. Also, this series is known for fun minigames that can be played on the side of the main story. The abundance of casinos in the city are built for that kind of thing. Think about the potential with the NPCs. There are tons of zany characters in Las Vegas, from street performers to celebrity impersonators. You could have hours of fun just watching them. Another advantage of Vegas is how it gives you both the city life and the desert area. GTA loves having both of those in their games. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.